Chapter 9. Dreamer's Paradise. Welcome to Amethyst University's Embrace Diversity Week, Trinity announced. Several large towers, including the Amethyst Mana Tower, could be seen beyond the 12-foot thick concrete surrounding wall. I see another one of those towers. Why is this one glowing 10 times brighter than the Emerald Mana Tower? Dark Sparrow asked. Trinity explained, the Amethyst Mana Tower has more mana deposited and less mana absorbed. Keep distance from this tower, seeing as it is hotter than the Emerald Mana Tower. The Sapphire Mana Tower mostly has stores of nature mana deposited by a variety of druids residing around 9 Mile Sapphire Beach. Queen Vedic Jones and Barrister Arlo Sergio deposit the most, seeing as their mana regeneration is supreme. Ignoring Trinity, Dark Sparrow began to daydream, thinking of Maxwell Turner. She imagined his brown hair combed back as the two of them lounged in red velvet robes and sipped red wine by a fireplace. She imagined his very sophisticated British accent telling her anything at any time of the day. In her daydream, Maxwell spoke, "Dark Sparrow, I see the suffering you once had still glistening like fireworks in your eyes. I am here to ease your pain. By the way, Dark Sparrow, Pain is my middle name. I know Jane is older than me, but her father is one hell of a man who can conjure me a frisbee on the beach while wearing no shirt, very short board shorts, and green zinc cream across his face. I hate reading instant romances, however, this is one fantasy I could live with." On arrival, Hope tied down the transport animals at the designated spot for parking. Dark Sparrow observed many races of Albaceans streaming through the town gates. Centaurs, elves, gnomes, dwarfs, minotaurs, and humans were gathering for this event. Some races were more monstrous, from breeds of animal folk mostly of the medium and large categories. Some of their traits had come from bears, foxes, goats, dolphins, gorillas, eagles, and turtles. Dwarf motorbike enthusiasts rode in on engineered motorbikes. Dark Sparrow pointed and shouted, "Look, everyone! A Sphinx catfolk is walking through the town gate. A hairless cat, he reminds me of Edward the cat." Trinity whispered, "Be careful with your comments. Many would consider pointing to be racist. I don't want to have to bail you out of jail." Jane interrupted, "Point made, Trinity. Now ease up. This is her first visit. Remember, she is here to help us." Dark Sparrow thought to herself, "You're out of your league with me, kid. I know a lot about you after reading the Universal Mystics Bible." Trinity telepathically replied, "Mystics have psionic powers, so be careful how you think, bounty hunter. We should be working together, putting our personal views aside. Do you agree?" Dark Sparrow replied telepathically, "I agree, teenager. Did you read that thought?" "Yes, I did." Walking in a group toward the main gate, they all stuck close together. They witnessed families coming together for the various festivities. A sly fox wearing a pink pimp suit walked alongside a man in blue and black striped suit. Dark Sparrow thought, when a man dresses up as Zonal Giovanni, he is asking for a premature death. Wait a second. That is Nigel Giovanni. I would know that long brown ponytail anywhere. Squeezing through the heavy congestion, surrounded by a million people, Dark Sparrow suddenly found herself squashed against the rear end of a gorilla folk wearing skin-tight denim. I've certainly had better days. Once through the main gates, all eyes looked around, observing the family-friendly environment. Lovely place, but not the time to make friends. I need to make Nigel Giovanni asphyxiate. I need leads to anything revealing who was involved in the Golden Sun Country Club incident. A young well-groomed man with short black hair wearing a black vest exposing his rock-hard abdominals, pectorals, and obliques approached, smiling. "My adopted daughter Trinity," he said, kissing her cheek. "How was your trip to Earth, princess?" Trinity gave him a hug. "I took your advice and did not talk to anyone about religion, politics, finance, magic, or psionics, and I shared no details of my personal life." "Well done. Soon you will be ready to indulge in the finer treasures of both worlds, and one day those of planet Siona, to really increase your psionic powers so you can ascend like me. Wouldn't that be nice? Dark Sparrow interrupted by handing the man Dr. Tracy Genilan's pamphlet while staring at his rock-hard muscles. This is proof that anyone close to you needs to talk about all difficult subjects, especially religion and politics. Seeing as Trinity is an adopted daughter, this would not present a problem. Trinity introduced them. Barrister Arlo Sergio, I want you to meet Dark Sparrow the bounty hunter. Next is Troy Marino, NEV captain and famous heavyweight mixed martial artist. This boy is Hope. He is representing the Emerald Dragons tonight, performing alongside Jane Turner, who is representing Rubervale Prison. Jane tilted her head sideways and crossed her eyes. She opened her mouth and waved over enthusiastically. You know me all too well, Mr. Arlo. Dark Sparrow closed her eyes and sighed. To think my bounty depends on working with this yo-yo. Do you need this pamphlet back? I would not mind reading it, as this whole week represents embracing diversity. And we all know the brilliant mind of Dr. Tracy Genilan. He gestured with his hands, indicating that he wished to keep the pamphlet. I need to go to prepare for tonight's event. I shall see you all inside the grand hall. Arlo walked away while the group looked at a map, trying to decide where to go. Jane asked, Dark Sparrow, where would you want to go first? Looking around at the group, she saw that Dark Sparrow had gone. Well, that is rude. This campus is homelier than I'd realized. Most buildings have fine marble pillars and pathways. A hippie orc man is sand painting on the concrete sidewalk with a vast collection of vibrant colors. Adults and children are enjoying his artwork. What is that intoxicating smell? An entire eatery of fast food. A strange little devil is running from a chef who is chasing him with a meat cleaver. Too bad I lost my appetite after barfing. Hearing catchy jazz music, Dark Sparrow asked herself, how can I resist? Drawing toward a band of 6 light blue aliens, she thought, 2 of the aliens are large in size with 3 eyes and 4 twiggy arms. One is playing on a harp, and the other playing on a quadruple cello. Those 4 aliens over there are medium-sized, playing on the guitar, drums, and keyboard while the lead singer sings both high and low notes perfectly. She applauded at the end of a lovely smooth song. We are the Scientists, named after yours truly. Thank you all sincerely from planet Siona. The Cyangan aliens are those who brought you psionic powers. I urge all to stand back. Next, we will perform our own heavy metal song synchronizing my psionic powers by using my suit inspired by Dr. Axel Chase's music videos, Scientist said, gazing into Dark Sparrow's eyes. Dark Sparrow crossed her arms to hide her video camera pen. She was filming and wondered what was to come next. Is this Tesla music? What exactly are the Scientists up to? Is there a connection here, or is it just a multicultural or xenomorphic exchange? Scientist is wearing a metallic foil helmet, copper wire gauntlets, and heavy metal robotic boots. That is probably very similar technology to the cyborg suit. Be amazed, Scientist said telepathically. All musicians played a traditional Indian song familiar to Dark Sparrow. Blue electricity surrounded Scientist's body, crackling to each beat. 2 mechanical towers studded with diamonds shot out currents of electricity that formed a blue hologram of a mechanical man. Whole notes strongly electrified, forming the outer armor's frame, while the harp created smooth electrical currents, forming internal organs and bones that looked mechanical. I have never seen anything like this in my life, Dark Sparrow thought. And this is inspired by Dr. Axel Chase, the engineer lunatic who posts dangerous videos for NEV. Why did Dr. Axel Chase not seek an opportunity to travel here? Is the electrical current trying to show something? I wonder if Dr. Chase's miniature electrical magnetic pulse generator would ruin the show. Enjoying the show, Dark Sparrow. Dark Sparrow screamed delicately for a second. Maxwell, you startled me. How can I help you? I mean, hello. Maxwell stated, if you enjoy this, you should come to one of Dr. Axel Chase's charity talent shows. The next one is a fundraiser supporting NEV. After all, we need more financial support. Infatuated by his manly charms, she did not realize what was said to her. I am 22 years old and married to my work, looking for an open commitment. I mean, do you require more assistance for your law firm, say, a reliable mole exposing the cesspool that is the NPD? I find you very interesting, Dark Sparrow. I know we only recently met, but can we grab a coffee? Maxwell grinned. Score. A date and a coffee. Thank you, Leanne, for your pamphlet. Yes. Yes, Mr. Turner. We shall grab a coffee and talk. Maxwell grabbed Dark Sparrow's hand and led her toward a coffee shop. My fantasy dream comes true. Coffee with a cute, sophisticated man named Maxwell. An elderly wrinkled goblin asked, Mr. Turner, what will it be today? Stepping aside, Maxwell gestured to Dark Sparrow to place her order. 2 piccolos to start us off. Thanks. A suggestion, fair maiden, since I see you have voyaged across many galaxies. How about a jumbo latte with your choice of chocolate, marshmallows, cream, or anything else on the list? Compliments of the house, naturally, for anyone drinking with Mr. Turner. Yes, Mr. Turner indeed. The goblin barrister bowed formally. Sighing angrily, Dark Sparrow said, I asked for 2 piccolos, you short shit-wriggled prune. What is hard about my simple order, pufter, wanker? Maxwell interrupted, grinding his teeth. I am a VIP here. On the house means any creative order is free of charge. Dark Sparrow flashed a fake smile, realizing how silly she'd sounded. Slightly stuttering, she said, on the house, you say? Make your best work of art, and do it thrice, I mean twice. The goblin barista walked on stilts to begin preparing the 2 coffees. Dark Sparrow realized he was trying to hold back his tears. She also realized she had given her pamphlet to barrister Arlo Sergio. Damn, I need that pamphlet back. What do I talk about not to seem too boring or egoistical? So, what do you think of political leader Mayor Jefferson? Dark Sparrow asked anxiously, closing her eyes. Maxwell nodded. He has helped Nankin City particularly well since the global financial crisis. Although volunteer help needs credit too. After all, volunteers are not worthless, they are priceless. Maxwell pulled out a flyer. Look at Fitzgerald declaring at his own daughter's funeral that he is running for mayor and setting up a new police precinct in Nankin Central inside the Selim Hotel. Apparently, he has hired many more bounty hunters acting as police to live in the Selim Hotel on contract for their service. Major Brett Thorne said he is checking out his rival. Nankin City really needed bounty hunters when Zonal Giovanni had the city falling under siege. Maxwell chuckled. Eric Fitzgerald and Mayor Jefferson slapped each other silly. Troy, Peter, and Fitzgerald's girlfriend stood between them. You could see in Troy's eyes that he wanted almost any reason to knock out his father-in-law. Thankfully Troy didn't flip out or lose his shit. The last thing NEV needs is another FBI investigation. Troy has 1 conviction already, for knocking out Nigel Giovanni the oxygen thief. You didn't hear it from me, but someone had to do it. As for Zonal Giovanni, I am glad Marcus killed Zonal Giovanni, Dark Sparrow said. Maxwell was lost for words, taking a short pause before answering. Sometimes there are more than 2 sides to a story, and too many third parties screw up how we enforce the law. Maxwell looked into Dark Sparrow's glistening eyes, seeing his reflection. Maxwell, I live to serve my city, the United States, and Mayor Jefferson. Speaking of Mayor Jefferson, the last person who debated against him ran out crying. If I were named Gaylord, I would have expected to have heard all the gay jokes already. Maxwell's eyes widened in shock to see such childish immaturity. Although I have said my fair share of curse words, political leaders need to set a better example, instead of policing how we all talk in everyday situations. Especially the misconceptions of gender neutrality. How confused have we made society on account of political correctness? Dark Sparrow frowned. The goblin barista placed the drinks on the counter. Here you both go. In front of Dark Sparrow and Maxwell sat a gallon-sized coffee with a long chocolate wafer straw, shredded chocolate, whipped cream, a candy umbrella, and an unusual type of blue citrus wedged on the side of the chalice. Surely a miscalculation when I asked for a piccolo. Maxwell sure seems sweet. Maybe he is a good man after all, not involved in my investigation. Talk back before he loses interest. Maxwell, I am having a good time. Let me throw one onto your field. How about we make it into a second date tonight and go watch Jane's event together? I am curious to see that muscular teenager and what he can do. Maxwell's expression became slightly serious. Dark Sparrow, you are lovely, but that is clearly not your name. This is just two adults getting coffee. You should be happy inside yourself. Since my wife died, I have not been interested in seeking romance. Besides, your joke about Gaylord shows how uneducated you really are. I don't like to be blunt, but you're way too young for me. Pretending to sigh, Dark Sparrow grabbed a napkin and blew her nose several times, purposely being irritating. However, seeing as you ask nicely, would you like to join me in the first row with Troy Marino as we watch the others in action? Maxwell asked, winking. As professionals, and putting that immature joke aside, we shall enjoy the show together as friends who clearly just met. This is not like an instant romance novel. That sort of thing is fantasy. Dark Sparrow blushed, winking back at Maxwell. Maxwell smirked. Why not an instant romance when we have already talked about politics? Once we talk more, not holding secrets, we can certainly consider dating. Maxwell handed Dark Sparrow his card. Here is my phone number if you need me. I shall see you tonight for the show. Maxwell stood up. I need to go prepare some of my students for tonight's event. Their church has volunteered to assist handing out food while they wear red or purple iron masks. Maxwell winked then walked away. I need to focus on my mission. No way could a lawyer be the villain or mastermind behind the Golden Sun Country Club incident. Tonight, I must find evidence to break the case. Everyone tonight is a suspect, including the Queen, the barrister, the Princess, Cameron, Trevor, and Nigel Giovanni. Wait a second. Maxwell said red or purple masks. Dark Sparrow noticed that Maxwell was nowhere in sight. The man who killed Eric Fitzgerald and took his identity wore a purple mask.